Welcome to Cohesive Friendship Unit. My name is Chris. I'm here with Brian,
What's going on?
Jake,
Hey guys.
and Jeremy.
How's it going?
We're going to be using Call of Duty Cold War as a little bit of a case study for modern games and how they basically are really hindering enjoyability due to their lack of accessibility. And we're not talking about, colorblind mode. We're talking about, getting to play the goddamn game. We tried to have a little Zombies Thursday with the free Call of Duty week with Brian, Jake, and Jeremy trying to download the free experience and, us having a good time. And it was kind of a disaster. So we're going to use that as a stepping stone and extend that out into a lot of modern AAA video games. So let's just start with the login client, right? So we're all used to Steam. I think we were actually talking about this earlier. I don't think any of us really like Steam so much as we're just used to it now. But I think Jeremy probably had the best experience with the Battle.net login client, right? And this is just going to be a horror story from start to finish.
I mean, granted, this is, caveat before I go on, almost all of it is assuredly my fault in some way or another, but, I'm not totally, I don't know. I feel like I should be able to figure these things out, but the login client that I was using didn't even have a widget to download this game. I had to fresh install Blizzard and then update drivers on my graphics card and then restart my computer multiple times to even get the widget to download the correct game files to appear.
Oh, even forget about the widget. Your, Battle.net thing was just, it was, out of date, but there was no way to manually update it. You had to just reinstall the whole client, right?
Yeah, no, I reinstalled the whole thing. I had to uninstall it and reinstall it.
Yeah.
It was a travesty.
And I think Brian had a similar issue.
I had a reboot twice because the client version that I installed from the Battle.net website the night that we tried to do this was out of date. And it took 2 reboots to get the correct update to download and stick.
Huh. Right.
I had at one point the button to download the Zombies experience, I think you called it. Every time I looked at it, the appearance of the button was the same, but the text was never the same, and what it did was never the same thing.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was a little bit ridiculous.
Okay,
yeah.
So... Oh, did you have something too?
I had the same thing. I just didn't mention it because I tried it the day before, on Wednesday the 24th, so that I could be ready for Zombies Thursday. But I fresh downloaded Blizzard, and I got the outdated version of the client the day before. And then I joined in with you guys and found out everyone had the client update issue. So I went through and updated it. But I had the exact same issue. When I fresh downloaded it, it was out of date.
Just to round things back, just so it's not like we're just picking on Call of Duty. Again, this is just we rarely at the 4 of us play a brand new AAA game. We usually play either indie games or older classic games, like Halo Master Chief is a good example. But there's other problems with other clients. It's not like we're just shitting on Battle.net. We've had problems with Origin in the past. We've had problems with Steam in the past too. It's just an unnecessary barrier to entry, I think is safe to say. The Epic Game Store we have also used.
You're having to launch other software before you can even launch the game. You're booting up something entirely separate just to get what you're trying to get to.
And you usually have to get hooked into the internet. You have to hit their servers.
Yeah.
I don't
The
know.
one redeeming thing about Steam is that they seem to have a big enough user base to get a lot of these kinks actually worked out. Enough people complain about it that they're like, oh, we need to fix this, and then it gets fixed in a relatively timely fashion. So it's more familiarity with Steam, but I feel like their user base size at least gives them a little advantage there.
Sure.
A small one.
Well, so we finally get the right version of the client pulled down so that we can find Call of Duty, which I'm sure you guys will want to elaborate on. But once you find Call of Duty and you get it starting to download, and this is, keep in mind, just the zombies mode of the game. There's like nothing else that you're downloading. This is not the full Call of Duty package. You're hit with a 90 gigabyte download size. 90, that's like 10% of most people's data caps in the United States. For one map.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That,
Mario, you better hope
can
you got
plug
the
it.
right one, too.
Right.
oh yeah, Jake, what'd you do?
Well, I downloaded Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Why'd you do that?
I didn't realize that Call of Duty Black Ops 4 and Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War are different.
Is that maybe because of the launcher showing Call of Duty Cold War content under the Black Ops 4 tab?
Yeah, I went back today just to double check. And if you go to the Call of Duty Black Ops 4 page on the Blizzard client, every single image on there is for the free weekend for Black Ops Cold War. And if you were like me and didn't have the updated client, Cold War wasn't even an option.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm sure I don't know what I usually when I do this stuff I just download it overnight because it's probably not great because I'm leaving the computer on overnight and whatever, but I'm not sure how long it took for you guys to download 90 gigabytes, but we are all pretty lucky in where we're located and the internet speeds that we have. I know at one point not too long ago my girlfriend and I shared a 3 megabit down connection. Like, that would have taken quite a while to download a 90 gigabyte file.
Yeah, I get about 20 down and it took an hour-ish.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got 11, and it took a bit longer than an hour. And that was after I spent half an hour downloading the wrong files like Jake did.
Yeah, that's 2/3 of us downloaded the wrong game.
And
And
just
this is a promo for the zombie film.
Yeah,
they want
they
a lot
want
of
you to
people
play
pick
this.
up on this and buy the game.
Yeah.
So, but just to, again, like, kind of move things back to all games, maybe not picking the wrong game. That is, I mean, that's a UI issue on the client. But the sheer size of games is just absolutely stupid. We joked about this earlier. Activision, Call of Duty, is now saying that if you have a base PlayStation 4, you will no longer be able to fit the complete Call of Duty Cold War experience on that PS4. If you want multiplayer, single-player zombies, and Warzone, you will not be able to fit that on a classic PS4. But there's plenty of games that are well over 100 gigabytes at this point in time. And the last thing I'll just say is the new next-gen consoles, the Xbox Series S, you get like 300 gigabytes of space on that console, that brand new console.
So in like a couple of years, that's 2 games.
It's debatably one game. It'll fit one full game and then a bunch of indies, and then you're stuck. Like, if you want to swap games, you have to just re-download a bunch of crap.
Yeah, just to throw a little perspective to how absolutely massive Black Ops Cold War is, Destiny 2, which is one of the bigger looter shooters out there with a bajillion maps and, like, I don't know, 6 or 8 major content updates at this point, the entire game is 60 megabytes, which is the size of...
Gigabytes.
Correct, and that's the size of the entire Zombies experience, which is Outbreak, which is technically 3 maps.
Yeah.
So my whole train simulator folder, and I have a lot of DLC, is 47.7, and that's with like probably 25 or 30 pieces of DLC.
And those are both kind of not older games, but they are. Well, Train Simulator is an older game, but Destiny 2 is towards the beginning of the last generation, the PlayStation 4 generation. I'm just, like, I know for a fact The Last of Us 2 is over 100 gigabytes. Red Dead 2 is over 100 gigabytes. Final Fantasy 15 is over 100 gigabytes. Like, the 100 gigabyte game is very, very, very quickly becoming the norm.
Well, when you can buy a 1 terabyte SSD for $100,
That's
Like,
that's not great, dude.
That's like a third or a fifth of the price of an entire console.
yeah, but still, like the storage prices have gone compared to what a terabyte cost when it came out not that long ago, when you could get it like a mechanical terabyte hard drive and it cost 10 grand, and now it's $100 for an SSD.
Yeah.
Like it's we're getting spoiled, is what I'm trying to say.
No, I know
we
we're getting
think that it's just going to keep going to the moon, but you know,
I know we're getting spoiled, but it was not that long ago that you could get a it wasn't that long ago that you didn't need an SSD. You could, and you still don't quite need one yet, but we're getting there. Jeremy knows.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, with a mechanical drive, you could get like a 1 terabyte drive for like $50, and then games in the 360 era were like 10 gigs each. So you could have insane, like hundreds of games, and now it's like maybe you're gonna get 10 on your computer.
right? But I mean, flip that around, right? So you've had this on PCs, at least. You've had huge amounts of storage that is quote unquote underutilized. So we can write the game however we want because everybody's going to have all this extra storage sitting around because it's so cheap to have big storage capacities on PCs. Consoles is a different argument, but like even those, a lot of them you can plug external drives into.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the storage thing is kind of crazy, but I agree it's kind of the way things are going. But on top of like all the stuff we've talked about, which is kind of like user experience and very PC based, once you play the game, there is like an entire, like practically an operating system layer on top of the game. When you boot into Call of Duty Cold War, you have the option to pick single player, multiplayer, zombies for Cold War, Modern Warfare, or another game, which all have 3 different game modes, all in a single game.
Well, how much RAM was that taking up, Brian?
I had 12 high, so like 12.6 gigabytes.
At the title screen, right?
Just on the title screen.
Yeah.
And to play the game, you have to connect your Activision account to your Blizzard account.
Oh my god, yeah. Wait, no, we
gotta
gotta
make the Activision account, and you can only verify it by giving them your phone number. So now Activision has my phone number in return for a free Zombies weekend that I didn't get to experience.
It's already bullshit that a lot of games require you to have one client to play the game. Or not client, account, but the fact that you need 2 accounts. And I feel like that's just the way that things are going. Like, it would not surprise me if we're going to need that for, like, Overwatch or, any AAA game, that you're going to need an account for the game, an account for the launcher, maybe even 3 accounts. Like, that's just bullshit. And you have to link them all.
It's funny that your first example was Overwatch, because both Overwatch and Call of Duty are made by the same company.
Same publisher.
Activision Blizzard.
Yeah.
And you have to connect your Activision account to your Blizzard account, which is once again the same company.
Yep.
Like, come on, guys. Like, this is
It's not like
crazy.
this merger happened like a month ago. This is like we're several years into this.
Yeah, it
But
says
they're
it
not
on the
mining
damn
you.
launcher.
They're not mining you for data, they promise.
Yeah.
We just want you to receive important updates and exciting offers. That's all.
Yeah, okay. I think that's like when the fuck has any account that you've ever signed up for a video game ever benefited you in any way besides letting you just play the game? Like, when has it done anything for you besides just being forced to do it?
Not
Never.
really ever.
Yeah. And how many other games, hint hint, maybe, I don't know, Risk of Rain 2, work fine if not better without any mandatory account?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say all games are better without a mandatory account.
Every single game that I have played except for Call of Duty within the past year has not required a mandatory account, and I've been fine with that.
Halo Master Chief would be one exception, where we needed an account. Like,
we did need a Microsoft. I already had one of those, though.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
That is the only good game that I've enjoyed recently that had an account associated with it.
Yeah, and to be fair, that was not hard to make. I had to create an Activision account, so I had to leave the game, go to Activision.com. I had to literally type it in because there was no option in game to go create the account, and manually create the account, and then manually link the accounts, and then relaunch the game.
All right, so we got into the game. We've gotten our 2 accounts. We've re-downloaded the Blizzard client. We've downloaded 100 gigabytes of zombies. So how did it perform?
It didn't.
Really good.
It was very mixed.
Would you describe it as, Jeremy?
Very good. Very, very good.
No. Well, yeah, whatever. Go for it.
It was like trying to play a Google slideshow, but as a first-person shooter. Like, I did not play the game functionally. Like, we were trying to play, and Chris would be like, look at the mini-map, there's a thing. And I would, like, move my guy, and then it would kind of glitch out, and then there would just be, like, 6 zombies on me, and I'd be like, this is cool. This is a good game that I'm playing. I love it. I set all of my graphics settings to off or low or very low.
And you set it to 720p.
Yeah, and I reduced the resolution. I don't have like a high performance gaming PC, but like it's not rubbish. You would think I could play it on low. I don't typically have this many problems with games.
No, your PC is fine. Like your PC is on par with the most
better than mine.
Yeah, it's on par with the most commonly used graphics card on Steam, which is a 1060. And your PC is definitely stronger than an Xbox One, of which this game is on.
And Halo: The Master Chief Collection performed just fine, and that's a new AAA big game.
Well, your video card is like designed for VR. Like there's no reason that you shouldn't be able to play Call of Duty.
And it was like literally unplayable.
And on top of this all, like regardless of your computer assets, you have to pre-compile all the shaders after you load into the game.
Oh, the shaders.
And you have to preload all of the assets before every single game you go into. So you have to do like a ton of pre-compilation before you even get into a zombies game. And then it still doesn't work.
And as we discussed this, I'm remembering probably my favorite part of the whole thing is that it like forces you to break up your, all of the bullshit you have to do before you launch the game into like 3 or 4 separate chunks, like necessarily. Like you have to download the game. And then once you launch the game, it has to do a shitload of updates. And then once it does a shitload of updates, you have to pre-compile that shit. That took like another fucking half an hour. Like it's just fucking downloads on top of downloads. And I just can't help but compare. Like I bought Super Mario 3D World last week. My girlfriend said, let's play Mario, like pop it in so we can see if it needs to pre-download or whatever. And you just fucking plug in the game and you can play it. Like I was like, no, it's good. And I've been enjoying that for days and days, and I didn't even get to really play zombies.
Yeah,
I was gonna say earlier, like remember when you used to just like put a CD in the computer and install it and play the game? Yeah. You might have to type in a license key or something like that. But
so yeah, let me ask: how long did it take? How long did it take you, Brian? Would you say how much time did you put into getting the game to work?
But between with all the waiting for
everything,
shaders and shit,
all of it,
probably 2.5 hours.
All right, Jake.
Probably 3+.
Jeremy.
I was well into 4 hours, and like an hour and a half of that was like me actively trying to kill myself while I installed the game.
Oh my god!
Like it was not just passively happening; it wasted so much of my fucking time after work.
Yeah. So, but okay,
I would note that I was the last one to try it, so I benefited from everybody else's knowledge.
Yeah, I think it took all of us 2 separate days to get everything done.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we tried to play it and we had to postpone it due to many technical difficulties. But that is a very...
But we played Risk of Rain instead.
Yeah, right. Well, that's, I think, what we're going to ultimately land on. But before we get that far, that is still a problem. And this is not like a Call of Duty problem. If you want to play Apex Legends or if you want to play... Like, all of these games have... Maybe not shaders compile, but there are single player and multiplayer games that do shader compiles. But a lot of games have like mandatory downloads before you can even start the game that you have to do pretty much every week. And that is super annoying. But yeah, so on a positive note, Jeremy kind of alluded to it, Brian kind of alluded to it. It's not like the old days of just like hopping in and playing games with your boys without 4 hours of prior work are gone. I think that's, as far as like on a positive note, right? It seems like Nintendo games and indie games are still kind of the golden children. It's like the corporate AAA stuff that sucks, right?
Yeah, it's not even really like indie games. It's just not AAA ones.
Yeah.
Because anything without all this shit piled on top of it. And honestly, when I'm looking at Steam and it's like you got to have another account, it says that in like the game description. I'm not interested. I'm moving on to the next one.
Yeah.
So like, you know, there are ways around this, and it's not like video games are dying because Call of Duty is a really fucking hot mess, but it's kind of unfortunate to see that this is quote-unquote AAA.
Yeah, and it's the shit piled on top that is really the issue here. Like, Call of Duty is still inherently the same game it was back when zombies came out, and there's so much stuff on there now that we can hardly even play it with our top-of-the-line computers to average computers. Like, all of us are better than consoles, and we can't play the game.
Yep.
Mamma mia.
So yeah, modern AAA games are great, and they now cost $70. So
plus the $650+ PC that you need to run them.
Yeah.
Plus the DLC.
Don't forget about the DLC and the season pass.
Plus the season pass.
And the loot boxes. Gotta get your skins.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I don't know. Call us some old boomers, but I think we remember a simpler time, if you will.
Well, but this, I think honestly, it's really hopeful because there are the nice thing about the online distribution stuff is that if it's not locked down real tight, there's a lot of opportunity for small devs or people that have different ideas to make something that people actually like as an alternative to this thing that you like in quotes. You know, you put up with it.
Yeah.
And you know, what are the people eventually going to buy?
That's a good point.
That's what drives what gets made.
I like that good point. I think we should end on that good point. So what should everyone who made it this far be doing, Brian?
Well, if you made it this far, you should definitely consider subscribing to the Cohesive Friendship Unit Season Pass. We're going to have all sorts of new skins and maps and shit like that. But seriously, you know, your thoughts on this in the word box would be appreciated. And if you did watch this far, you know, consider subscribing to the channel. We try to offer thought-provoking and insightful commentary on a variety of issues, and you can find a veritable shit ton more content like this right here on the Cohesive Friendship Unit channel. And we do occasionally give away stuff, but only for the subbers, so go ahead and click that subscribe button, won't you? And smoke them if you got them, guys. That's all for me tonight, Chris.
All right. Thank you, Brian. We'll catch you next time.